Epilogue. Kacey. 1 year later. London, England. My hands wrap reverently around the hot paper cup. I take a sip and inhale the earthy black tea and crisp bergamot. Steam curls around my face as the liquid warms me from the inside. Around us, Covent Garden glitters with Christmas cheer. Overhead, enormous bells and ornaments sparkle as huge disco balls spread points of light around the market. Rhys asks,
"Disco balls for next year's gala, then?"
My gaze returns to his tawny brown eyes. I raise my voice to be heard above the hum of conversation. Not a chance, but I loved those light-up angels we saw earlier. It looked like they were actually flying. Maybe I'll do an angel theme next year? He takes one of my hands in his.
You should know about angels.
Whatever. I laugh. I'm not even close to that.
You're my angel. The bell at the end of the treasure hunt last year. Wasn't that you getting your wings?
I make a show of flexing my upper back and looking over my shoulder. Nope. Still waiting for them to sprout, I guess.
So much the better. Can't have you flying off without me, can I?
Rhys says. I would never do that, I say.
Promise?
Always and forever. Turns out I didn't need wings or a halo. I needed someone to see past the glitter to the real me. He offers me a crooked grin.
And I'm all yours.
And now I'm just waiting for you to ask me a certain question. A funny expression crosses his face, and I instantly regret bringing it up.
Someday, darling girl, you must be patient with me.
I know. I attempt a reassuring smile. A familiar ache flares in the center of my heart. We've discussed everything, our career goals, where we'll live, and how many kids we want. He knows I'll say yes if he asks me, but I don't want to rush him, especially since his last proposal turned out the way it did. Sometimes, though, it feels like my life's on hold, like I'm waiting to finish a book I've been reading for years and start a shiny new one. Still, I remind myself that life is good. We love our jobs, have a great circle of family and friends, and we're madly in love. But honestly, I'm ready to call Rhys my husband. Given how fast we'd fallen in love, I guess I expected him to propose sooner than a year after we started dating. But considering his past trauma with engagements, I understand his desire to wait. And I'll wait, because there's no one else for me. I point out a couple leaving a table, and we wait respectfully as they clean up and depart. We settle in with our tea and pastries. Perfect timing, I say.
As always with you, it seems.
Christmas magic.
Indeed.
So much has changed since last Christmas at my parents' house. Claire and Gavin made me an aunt. My friends and family finally treat me like a capable adult. And this year's Quantum Gala was even better than the last one, if I do say so myself. Hosting it at the DC offices was one reason Dad caved and approved my transfer in the first place. But some things haven't changed. I still get a rush out of event planning. My family is still as lively and involved as ever, and my heart still stumbles whenever Rhys enters a room. Although this is our second trip to Britain together, it's the first one I'm getting to play tourist. The first was for business 6 months ago, and we barely had enough time to squeeze in a visit to his parents' home in the Cotswolds. Of course, we stopped to spend a day with them this time as well. They're a lovely couple, quiet and reserved, but so hospitable and charming. Did your dad actually hug you goodbye yesterday? I ask. Rhys blinks, startled out of his thoughts.
What? Oh, that. Yes, he did.
Was it?
A rare occurrence. Certainly.
He scratches the surprisingly full beard he's let grow while we're on holiday. I love saying that. And while I definitely find work Rhys alluring, I'm enjoying holiday Rhys even more. He makes more jokes, smiles often, and even talks to the occasional stranger. Once I've drawn them into conversation, that is.
Dad's been more parental since I brought you home to meet them, that's for sure. Oh, and he reminded me that his cousin Joseph, I've always called him Uncle Joe, is on the stage crew at the Opera House. Told me to be sure I looked him up before we left.
Oh, that's right. Do you think he could take us backstage? I take a bite of my cupcake.
Perhaps, as long as we're not a bother.
He crumples up his napkin, shoves it into his empty cup, and holds out his hand for my trash as well.
We'd best be on our way. Show starts in an hour and a half.
We leave our table for the next couple and wander past the street performers and among the crowded booths laden with ornaments and gifts. I relish the thought of being here for another 5 days. We've already seen so much, including the University of Warwick, where Rhys went to school, the Charles Dickens Museum, and a surprise side trip to Cardiff to see my aunt. I don't want it to end. It's not solely the history and magic of seeing places that only ever existed in books for me. This place is magical because I'm here with Rhys. But tonight is all about the Nutcracker Ballet at the Royal Opera House. The excitement bubbles up in my chest and threatens to materialize in very loud, unsolicited singing. I hum instead, trying to keep a balance between my silly and serious sides. I've learned that being a responsible adult doesn't mean I have to be serious all the time, or even most of the time. The usher shows us to our row and we make our way to our seats. Rhys sits, then straightens his suit coat for the 10th time and wipes his hands on his slacks. "Babe?" I ask. "Are you all right?" Rhys gives me a tight smile.
Couldn't be better.
I give him a long, doubtful look and fight a grimace. As soon as we walked through the Royal Opera House doors, he became a different person. He's all spacey and fidgety now. I adored perusing the display cases with costumes and ballet slippers, and the rainbow of past production posters was amazing, but Rhys would barely glance at them or say more than 2 words to me. Now that we're settled in our seats, his leg is bouncing like he's the one about to perform. I study him for a minute, but he stares straight ahead at nothing. No one's on stage. The orchestra warms up, rogue notes from violins and flutes sounding sporadically. "Are you upset with me?" I venture. His eyes widen in shock.
Why in heaven's name would I be upset with you?
The pads of my fingers drag over the lacy top layer of my black dress. The combination of sheer fabric and rough texture gives me something to focus on besides Rhys's strange behavior. "Nothing, Thanks again for taking me."
My pleasure.
He straightens his sleeves and the hem of his jacket again. I blink several times. Okay, since Rhys seems to be allergic to this place, I resign myself to drinking in every fantastic detail of it while I can. I certainly won't ask him to return if this is how he's going to act. The magnificent ceiling draws my attention, a concave ivory dome with gold rays extending outward from the center circle. From there, my eyes trail down the rows of double sconces that cast a soft golden glow on the crimson velvet chairs and intricate leafwork on each balcony level. Then I remember something. Is Uncle Joe here?
Ah, yes. We'll try to locate him after the show.
He slips his phone out of his pocket and checks it, keeping it angled away from me. I can only wonder if it's on purpose. The lights flicker on and off, and my hand grasps his. "It's starting!" I whisper-yell, bounce in my seat, and squeeze his hand tighter. For a moment, Holiday Rhys is back, a relaxed, charming smile curving his lips.
Why are you excited? You don't even like the ballet.
"Blasphemy, how dare you?" I tease. "You know this is a dream come true, aside from being on stage." Rhys swallows, and his distant expression returns.
Yes, well, that's a bit beyond my...
"I'm thrilled to be sitting here in the audience, Rhys. Relax, honey." He nods and scans the theater. As the house lights go down, my heart races in anticipation. When I was younger, I wanted to be a principal dancer, to be the grown-up Clara. But sitting here next to Rhys, it's clear that dreams change. Sometimes adult realities are even better than childhood fantasies. That's not the norm, for sure. Most of us dream of being astronauts, actors, and yes, dancers. But then we grow older and the world tells us to pick more practical dreams. As if dream and practical belong in the same sentence. My parents weren't perfect, of course, but they never told me I had to settle for anything but the best. Do I long for the spotlight? Do I miss being on stage? I'd be lying if I said not at all. Let's just say I might have been practicing my turnout while appreciating the ornate costumes in the lobby. But would I change anything? No, because every twist and turn in my life has brought me to this moment, with Rhys. And I wouldn't trade this moment for anything. The dancers, the costumes, the amazing backdrops and special effects all draw me in. I lose track of time until the waltz of the snowflakes begins, and Rhys rises from his seat. I frown. "Where are you going?"
Just to the gents.
He whispers. "It's almost intermission, though. Can't you wait?"
Sorry. Afraid not.
He grimaces and scoots by me, then marches up the aisle and out of sight. I stare at the exit for a moment. What has gotten into him? I begin to overanalyze, but the show grabs my attention, and I don't think about Rhys again until the house lights come up. He's not back yet. I stand and search for him, nowhere to be found. Huh. My phone has nothing from him either. I send him a text telling him I'm off to find the ladies' room. After an endless wait in the restroom line, cue. I make it back to my seat just as the lights are flickering to tell us it's time for Act 2. Rhys has reappeared. His cheeks and nose are rosy, but the rest of his skin is pale. I put the back of my hand against his forehead. It's freezing. Did you go outside?
Yes. Needed a breather. A tad stuffy in here, don't you think?
No, it's perfect. Are you feeling okay? Should we go back to the hotel?
No.
He almost shouts, then repeats himself more calmly.
No, of course not. I'm feeling fine. This is your night. We aren't leaving.
My lips press together and I raise an eyebrow. I'm a little worried about you, Scrooge. You haven't been yourself since we got here. He rubs the back of his neck.
Sorry, love. I've been thinking about work things.
Uh-huh. I don't believe him for a second. Work things. The lights dim, and once again I'm lost in the magic of the performance, but for the first 2 scenes I can't quite lose myself in it like before. Rhys's strange behavior has me rattled, but eventually I do give in to the beauty and elegance on stage. The room brightens as the dancers take their final bows. My face hurts from smiling and my hands sting from clapping, but I can't stop myself. The euphoria of being utterly transported to the fantastic realms of the Nutcracker Ballet will undoubtedly stay with me forever. Rhys checks his phone again, scans the room, then faces me.
Kacey, darling, I've got to go see if I can meet Uncle Joseph. Stay right here, please.
Oh, I'm staying here?
Just for now.
I nod and sit back down. He pats my hand and jogs backstage. After scrolling mindlessly through my phone for 5 minutes, I glance up and drop it when I realize the ballerina who played the adult Clara swishes her way up the aisle. She's making eye contact with me. Which can't be right. Why would she?
Miss Kacey Briggs?
She asks with a melodic British accent. I recover my phone and cross my ankles delicately, pretending to be composed. Yes?
Would you follow me, please?
She's smiling like she'd love to tell me a secret. And then my heart hammers on my ribcage like it wants to be let loose. Rhys has been acting weird. He has a family member who works here. And now I'm being escorted somewhere by a ballerina. Is he? No. It can't be. My knees go wobbly as I desperately try not to trip or fall or otherwise embarrass myself while following the personification of Grace in front of me. Instead of a wistful longing for my broken dancer past, though, I can only wonder what Rhys is up to, because he's surely behind this. I'm afraid to hope this is what I think it is. Instead of following the exiting crowd, Clara leads me upstream to a discreet side door. We leave the perfumed air of the theater and slip inside the matte black, slightly musty corridor. The murmur of the exiting crowd gives way to muffled quiet. The hallway opens up to the wings, and I catch a glimpse of the empty stage before we continue on to a cavernous, white-walled room where workers rewind chords and dancers gather in groups, talking and laughing. It smells of resin, sawdust, and grease paint.
Just a bit further,
Clara encourages as we step over power lines and dodge rolling costume racks.
Ah, there she is.
A gravelly yet refined voice calls. Its owner is a barrel-chested man with wild gray hair.
Hello, Kacey, my dear.
His hand is warm and more calloused than any I've ever shaken.
Thanks, Anna.
He says to Clara. She curtsies and dances off.
I'm Joe Ballantyne, Rhys's uncle of sorts. He asked me to give you a bit of a tour if you fancy it.
My eyes widen. Are you kidding? I'd love it, but where is he?
Said he'd meet us halfway. He's seen all this before.
Joe motions for me to follow. His navy blue sweatshirt says Flies on the back. What does Flies stand for? I ask.
The system of pulleys and rigs that move the scenery up and down. We're the ones who make things fly.
I love it. It must be hard work coordinating everything. The lights, the dancers, the music.
All in a day's work, darling.
Uncle Joe gives me a quick tour backstage. He points out the fly tower with its ropes and counterweights, the props table, and the quick change corner. He even shows me the trap room under the stage where the mechanics clank and hum. We trace our steps back to the stage. The sleigh that Clara rides on with Prince Cavalier sits quietly in the center. I give Joe a quizzical glance.
Now, would you look at that?
Uncle Joe is a terrible actor.
Why would they leave that out of all things? Hang on, love. I'll go get the boys to put it away. Go on. You can have a look-see if you like,
he says with a twinkle in his eye. I tiptoe onto the stage so my heels won't click. Although the theater guests have all gone, the janitorial staff and a few cast members remain in the seating area. A few of them eye me curiously, but quickly go back to their own business.
Are you allowed to be up here?
A smooth baritone comes from behind the curtain. I jump and start to explain myself, but I know that voice even if he's trying to disguise it. Rhys slips out from between the thick crimson curtains with a huge grin on his face. A few of the people in the velvet rows watch us now. I have Uncle Joe's permission, I answer cheekily.
I'm sorry, miss.
Rhys says with an official air.
But either I see some credentials, or I'll have to escort you out.
I shift my weight and cross my arms. I'd like to see you try. His shoes echo as he stalks toward me.
Oh, my apologies, Princess Clara. Why didn't you say it was you?
What are you up to, Rhys? I say. He remains in character.
Up you go, into the sleigh. Mustn't keep the guests waiting back home.
He bows and holds out his hand so I can climb up. I do, and once seated, run my hands over the plush purple upholstery. Am I dreaming? I feel dizzy and weightless. Uncle Joe appears in the wings. Several performers, most of them children, crowd around him.
Princess, I apologize that this is not technically a throne, but I hope it will serve.
He nods to the gathering crowd around Uncle Joe. A tiny ballerina floats out to us and hands Rhys a tiara with a curtsy and a giggle.
Thank you, my dear,
he says. She scurries off and joins her friends. They all whisper and point at us. Uncle Joe beams. I narrow my gaze at Rhys. What are you up to, McBroody?
Making good on a promise.
My pulse stutters, then races to catch up. And what promise would that be?
I'm getting to that.
He clears his throat and casts an impatient glance around the theater. A spotlight appears on the floor in front of us, then zigs and zags until it finally lands directly on Rhys and me. My goodness, Rhys has gone all out for this. I'm blinded as I hear Uncle Joe shout,
Need a few more hours on that, Sam.
Why don't you get up here and show us how it's done then, eh?
Someone yells from the back of the auditorium.
Right. Carry on.
Joe answers. Rhys runs a hand over his face, then gives me an apologetic grimace. You were saying? I ask.
Yes. Princess Kacey, would you do me, well, us,
He motions to the wings.
the honor of wearing this crown and taking a ride in this sleigh?
I would love that. He steps up into the sleigh with me, and electricity charges the air between us. His eyes meet mine, and he pauses for a second to give me a crooked grin before placing the dazzling tiara on my head. He jumps down to the floor, and I instantly feel cold and alone. I pout. You're not coming with me? He crosses his arms, then brings his knuckles to his mouth, thinking.
I feel like something's missing.
Rhys is almost as bad an actor as his uncle. I play along. What could be missing?
Your jewelry. Something's not quite right.
A swell of whispered conversation comes from Uncle Joe's group. I glance over to the opposite wing. There are performers and staff there, too. I trace one of the ornately crafted wooden borders. This has to be more than just a sleigh ride. Who stops what they're doing to watch an audience member check out the props? Or could it truly just be Rhys trying to fulfill my childhood dream? Then again, I told him mere hours ago I was waiting to hear a certain question from him. He said I needed to be patient. He said someday. Rhys shoves his hands in his pockets, then takes them out again.
Kacey Marie Briggs?
Everyone stares, holds their collective breath. Attention rarely flusters me. Although I've grown used to being behind the scenes, I've always loved the thrill of entertaining people. In the spotlight, where most people shake and stutter, I feel at ease. But right now, my body hums with adrenaline. My cheeks, fingers, and toes tingle. I've never fainted, but this might be what it feels like. Yes? I answer finally.
Since the first day we met.
Whoops and hollers sound from either side of us. And now I know. It's happening. No one starts a speech like that unless it's serious.
And the day we kissed at the beach.
Catcalls and whistles from the crowd now. My cheeks are on fire and my whole body is pins and needles. I blink rapidly as my eyes fill with tears.
I've been captivated by you. My scrooginess and broodiness did nothing to dissuade your sunshine from infiltrating my defenses. The icy armor around my heart was no match for the warmth the heat you brought to my life.
A tear slips down my cheek.
This year has been the best year of my life with you, gorgeous girl. I want to spend the rest of my years. I want to spend forever with you.
A small sob escapes my throat and I laugh through my tears. Rhys produces a tiny velvet box. I press my palms to my cheeks. He sinks to one knee and opens the box, revealing something that catches the light and my breath. A halo of delicate diamonds surrounds the princess-cut center stone, with smaller gems cascading down the band. It's perfect.
Kacey Marie Briggs, will you be my wife?
I'm nodding before he's finished. Yes, I choke out as I hop off the cushion and practically fly down the steps of the sleigh. He stands just in time to catch me and twirl me around. I bring my lips to his and we kiss like we've been apart for months. He lowers my feet to the floor but continues holding me tightly to him. Applause, whistles, and hurrahs erupt. Rhys struggles with the ring a bit, but eventually slides it on my finger. I hold up my hand and angle the diamonds to reflect the light. My chin lifts, and I thread my fingers through his hair as our mouths meet. My hands wind around his neck, and I melt into him, into his touch, his warmth. And then the crew mobs us, and we're inundated with congratulations, pats on the back, and handshakes. Uncle Joe watches from the wing, one shoulder against the wall, a satisfied grin on his face.
Well done, lad,
He calls.
Now up you both get.
Uncle Joe shoos us into the sleigh, and I snuggle in close to Rhys as the crew wheels us into the shadows. He holds my hand in his and runs his thumb over my ring. I can't tear my eyes away from it.
It suits you.
I love it. I love you. He winds an arm around my shoulders and kisses me again. Slow and easy. Comfortable, like a sigh. Like we have a lifetime to enjoy each other, which might be enough time. Maybe. For one enchanted moment, I was Princess Clara, but I get to be Rhys's princess forever. And this is no childhood fantasy. It's real, it lasts, and it won't disappear when the curtain falls. This is the story that Rhys and I get to create. One kiss, one Christmas, one adventure at a time.
This has been Melt Into You, a sweet Christmas romance. By Cassie O'Neill. Copyright 2025. By Moth and Rust Media. Narrated by Spoken. Cassie O'Neill writes sweet, heartwarming romances filled with humor, drama, and happily ever afters. When she's not writing, she's likely reading, running, or sipping a warm mug of Earl Grey tea. Learn more and sign up for updates at www.cassieo'neill.com. Thank you for listening.